my favorite big man in the business. And one of the big men that really was just incredible for his size. Leon White, Big Van Vader, passing away at the age of 63 the other day. And it saddens me because I'm about to go off here, folks. I really am. And when I first heard this, I was completely just full of rage and anger because this is another wrestler, another superstar, if Vince wants to call him that, superstar, that will not see himself, will not be alive if he is ever inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He just joins the list himself. Now, I'm talking about people now who are in it. Macho Man, Kurt Hennig. And I don't know what the criteria is. I don't know what the waiting process is. But the fact that Big Van Vader is not in the WWE Hall of Fame, and you have the Bushwhackers aren't in it. The Bushwhackers. The Big Boss Man. The Bushwhackers were in before Rick Rude. So I don't know what the criteria is, but the WWE again drops the ball on this, as they always do, and it just makes me so mad. This is the tribute that they put out, and curious if they're going to run this on Raw on Monday, or they'll just totally bypass it, which would not be unlike them because they have a history of just, doing stupid shit. I don't think they gave Bobby Heenan the right send-off either. But this is the tribute that they posted on WWE.com a few days ago.
The WWE family is mourning the recent passing of Leon White, better known to the WWE Universe as the man they call Vader. An All-American at the University of Colorado, White was drafted to the NFL by his hometown Los Angeles Rams, where he would go on to compete in Super Bowl 14. After an impressive career on the gridiron, White pursued his passion for sports entertainment, adapting the persona Big Van Vader.
Vader at the time was the premier monster in the business.
Big outfit, you were just in awe. It's Vader time!
Very few people had ever seen a guy that big, that agile. He was really a freak of nature.
He just planted him with a power bomb, and Vader has won the world title!
Vader was the first true super heavyweight to display uncanny agility and athleticism in the ring.
So why is he in the Hall of Fame?
World champion
so why is he in the Hall of Fame?
Vader's menacing persona made an immediate impact when he joined WWE in 1996.
Well, they used him like
he just
shit.
had so much power and strength. I mean, we're talking about a 400-pound guy that could do a moonsault off the top rope. Yeah, how does he do that?
A mastodon-sized man with an equally prolific personality, Vader had fun portraying himself on the hit 90s sitcom, Boy Meets World. WWE.
Hold on. So what I want to show you or tell you, because obviously you can't hear, you can't see it, is during all that they are posting tweets up of various superstars with their thoughts on the passing of Vader, and you have Michael P.S. Hayes, Matt Hardy is in there, Bubba Ray Dudley, JBL Foley, DDP, I saw Sting was in there, Bruce Pritchard, Road Dogg, Triple H. Leon White entertained and intimidated audiences all over the world with his size, strength, and agility. Saddened to hear of his passing, and our thoughts are with his family at this time. Hashtag rest in peace, Vader. Well, you better tell your father-in-law that he's a fucking idiot for not putting him in the Hall of Fame sooner. continue with this.
WWE offers our condolences to Leon's family and friends. And will forever look back fondly on the man they call Vader.
It's just so, it gets under my skin so much. Just so much, because they just have a history of just fucking this shit up. And they've done it again this time around. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Oh, he was the first of his size. I mean, a mastodon of a man. I mean, oh, God. You had this guy, 400 pounds, going out there doing moonsaults. Was the first really big man, and Foley said it best. He was the premier monster in those early 90s. And let's read off his resume here. All Japan, we know what he did. Triple Crown Heavyweight Champion 2 times. World Tag Team Championship. That's in All Japan. New Japan, IWGP Heavyweight Champion 3 times. IWGP Tag Team Championship 1 time with Bam Bam Bigelow. Pro Wrestling Illustrated Wrestler of the Year in 93. Ranked number 2 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWA 500 in 93. Ranked number 27 of the top 500 singles wrestlers of the PWI years in 2003. Ranked number 36 of the top 100 tag teams of the PWI years with Bam Bam Bigelow in 03. WCW, 1-time U.S. Heavyweight Champion, 3-time World Heavyweight Champion. 5-star match in 91 with Muto. Best heel he was voted on in the Wrestler Observer Newsletter in 93. Best wrestling maneuver in 93. Most improved wrestler in 99. Wrestler of the Year in 93. Wrestler Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame class of 96. I mean, so he has a pedigree here. You know, and I just I'm not here to shit on the Bushwhackers or the Big Boss Man or Coco Beware or Junkyard Dog or any of these guys, but I mean that's a big resume there. And I think they got in with lesser resumes before Vader. And let's face it, they have a history of just fucking this whole Hall of Fame up. I mean, the fact that China's not in there. You know what they'll do? I'll tell you what they'll do. They will wait until January, and he will be the first inductee announced. Well, I don't know how that'll work, because then, I mean, they're in Jersey next year, so you got to have Bam Bam in. So great, you'll have 2 wrestlers that should have saw themselves in the Hall of Fame, but I mean, not so much Bam Bam, really. I mean, but Vader now, we've known he's sick for a while. Why he wasn't put in last year? Which still, to me, I would have been pissed off, because, again, it was a mercy. It just would have been a mercy move. I mean, why wasn't this guy in sooner? Why wasn't he in the Hall of Fame sooner? I don't understand what they're looking for, what they're looking at. And what makes matters worse is that their video package, that guy is praising him to the skies. And that's why you heard me. Well, then why isn't he in the Hall of Fame? I don't understand. It really doesn't make any sense to me. But Vader, to me, was one of the first big guys. And I remember starting to watch wrestling in 95. And I got hooked on Savage with all his colorful stuff that he had on wearing to the ring, and Sting. And the first big man that I remember seeing was Vader. And I was just amazed by this guy. This guy in the red mask going out there and just an intimidating force. And I'm like, wow. How does a guy that big go out there and is doing all that stuff off the top rope? You never see guys of his size go up to the top rope. And then when you get older, obviously, you start to appreciate it more. Obviously, the power of YouTube and the network, where you can look back. I mean, those matches that he had with Sting, those were good matches. And he had plenty of quality matches in Japan. A guy that size that could wrestle He really wasn't limited to a brawler type status. He could wrestle. Had a hell of a career. And I just don't understand why he wasn't in. And what I loved was, well, not loved, but what I found funny was when the WWE on the Instagram put up that Leon White had passed away, the comment section was just brutal. Brutal, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. You know, I mean, one of them was, fuck you, why isn't he in the Hall of Fame? Because when you're a fan of somebody, and I was a fan of Vader. I loved his work. I was fascinated by his work. And when you see a guy like that, who you read up on him, you study, and you know when you see that he busted his ass for the business. And the fact that he wasn't put in the Hall of Fame, and now he will never see himself in the Hall of Fame. Well, that's fucking unfortunate, but that's the WWE for you. And I really hope this isn't the case, but one of my good buddies on Facebook wrote, man, Vince loves not putting those people in the Hall of Fame when they're alive because he doesn't have to cash the royalty checks. And if that's the case, that he doesn't put them in the Hall of Fame, waits till they die so they don't have to cash royalty checks, that is a fucking disgusting, slimy piece of shit move. And if that's the case, fuck the whole Hall of Fame. You know what? Billy Graham wants out. You know, good. You know what? Get the fuck out of the Hall of Fame and put Vader in. But man, I had never thought of that. And this guy posted up on Facebook and was like, man, isn't it funny that Vince never puts these guys in the Hall of Fame, but he does when they're dead, so they can't cash the Hall of Fame royalty checks? I mean, it just makes you wonder. And I know Vince McMahon he has revolutionized wrestling and sports entertainment in terms of television and almost everything. Pay-per-views. But I wouldn't put it past him for a scumbag move like that. Because let's face it, in order to be successful, you have to be a scumbag along the way. And I really hope that that's not one of the reasons why these people aren't going in the Hall of Fame, because that would be a real shitty fucking thing to find out. Shudder to think about it.